let's talk a little bit about the 2023 team
Yeah.
and how do you see the season going for the
Yeah.
Padres?
Well, since we were just talking about Tatis, I can see that, like, now that, it's far removed and he's, broken the silence in a sense and said, like, yeah, I messed up. It hurt me that I wasn't there in 2023. I want to work hard and prove I'm wrong. And, you hear Musgrove was praising him. Like, this dude has a great work ethic. He's going to prove a lot of people wrong. You got Cronenworth and Machado said, you guys are forgetting how good it is. We're so happy to have him back. And, like, you got to realize that the problem with him isn't that he's a bad kid, okay? The problem with him is that, growing up son of a major leaguer, hype prospect, when he was being scouted, like his international sign and all that, like, you got to remember that because of all that, growing up, he was always told, you can do no wrong. You're the greatest. You're the best. Like, he felt like indestructible because of that. And the whole thing, so he was treated like a child. He was immature. We saw what happened in the dugout in September 2021 with Machado in St. Louis.
Right. Yeah.
Like, it was an immature kid who made one giant mistake that he just doubled and tripled down on. Obviously the mistake, he was careless on the motorcycle, okay? He doubled down on it trying to hide the injury instead of trying to get it looked at right away. I know you're like, well, the Padres couldn't contact him because of the lockout. There's some weird thing where, like, the player could contact certain doctors, just the team, like themselves, like Preller and the front office couldn't contact him, something like that. So he doubled down there, and then he tripled down when he, took whatever he took that had the PED in it to try and heal faster. Like, instead of owning up to it, he doubled and tripled down to try and hide it, which is what immature kids do. So that just proves that he was an immature kid, but I think and would certainly hope, and I actually do think that he did learn his lesson from that. And I think what you got to realize about him, this is just as a player, is like, I see, it's mostly, the stupid fan bases that generally hate on us, Dodger fans, Met fans, Philly fans, which I don't understand Philly fans, like, because it's like, you beat us. Congrats.
Yeah.
Like, and even us, we were like, Philly, you beat us. You were better than us in the series. And then they're like, oh, you frauds. We kicked your ass. It's like, what? It's like, go say that to the Braves. They beat you by how many games in the regular season, and then you beat them in the playoffs? Like, we were a wild card team like you. Like,
well, it's Philly fans.
I mean, yeah,
those guys, they're loud, they're obnoxious.
The thing I always say is that Philly fans would boo their own grandma for burning cookies.
Well, they boot Santa Claus, right? So so it's just Philly.
Yeah.
Give them their day. I mean, they had a good run.
Yeah, I mean, so anyways, what I was saying was, it's all these teams are like, oh, he can't do it without steroids. It's like I said, he's never played a game on steroids. The kid's a freak athlete, one of the most talented players I've ever seen. And it might take him some time, getting the timing back after a year and a half off and, coming off the surgeries. Oh, he told Scan yesterday on the in-game interview after he came out that he felt 100%, which is good to see. And, he has 3 hits the last 2 games, like I told you before we started this recording.
Mm-hmm.
I think his timing, it's getting there. It's not all the way there, which you would expect after, not seeing MLB pitching for a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the timing isn't quite all the way there. And you can tell because, like, when he's in the box, like, I don't know if you can tell this, he's, like, looking the pitch, like, almost all the way into the glove. Like, I've never seen him do that before when he takes a pitch. So I think that, to me, is just showing that the timing is not quite there, but he's getting there, and he's going to be good. Like, he might start slow when he first comes back, but after the last 20 games of the suspension ends, but he's going to be good, and he's going to be a big part of this team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just so excited he's back. And it just seems like the fans are welcoming him back. The fans are giving him a second chance. So how do you like him in right field?
I mean, like I said, the kid's a tremendous athlete, and once he gets past that learning curve that he's going to have, like, he'll be fine out there. He's a tremendous athlete. He can go get the ball. Like, he'll probably be able to go get balls with the best of them. He's an unbelievable athlete.
Yeah, I think he's going to be great out there. And it just seems that the team's attitude is not so hung up on, I want to play shortstop. We just want to win.
See, that's another thing about Tatis and his maturity and what was wrong with the culture in 21 versus 22 is that, Tatis kind of had this, like, I want to be a shortstop, and was, like, not real happy about not playing shortstop. People were pointing out with his body language in 2021 when he was playing outfield. I think part of that was, being a coddled, immature kid, like I was talking about. Part of that was that the culture was kind of all over the place in 21. And now you see him, he's like, yeah, I want to be a shortstop. I want to be a center fielder, but if the team needs me in right field, like that's where I'll be. Like he said, I believe what tells me all you need to know about this team and their culture is that Tatis said when someone asked him what position he was going to play at FanFest, he was like, let me ask my manager on that. And then someone asked Cronenworth the same question. He's like, let me go ask Preller. It's like, that's the kind of culture that you want to have.
Yeah.
And that is a huge credit to Bob Melvin. Like I said, that was a huge difference between 21 and 22.
Well, I mean, think about.
Got a couple more comments.
We got a ton more. Yeah, there's no limit here. But think about both Cronenworth and Tatis. They're multi-position players. I mean, in the past, you had a right fielder like Hunter Renfroe. He couldn't play shortstop. He couldn't play anywhere. Now we've got all these multi-position players.
You got a 4 shortstop infield.
Yeah, well, 5 if you count Nola. So because he was a shortstop in the minor leagues.
Right.
So, but you could never have asked these questions of what position you're going to play because everyone knew. But now they have all this flexibility. It invites interesting questions. I think this is a credit to Preller in the way he has assembled this roster.